Hey, hey, this is the Mom Cafe, and this is Ty Spikes on our second episode of Mom Cafe. This episode is entitled Newborns Home, Now What? And these are my lovely, beautiful moms. They are a mom and daughter duo. This is Cynthia and Sarah Williams. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Hello.
Yay! And I want to show off my mug, my coffee mug today. Bow, here we go. You guys can see that.
Hi.
See what it says. So I don't have a lot of mom coffee mugs, but I'm getting them, guys. I'm going to get them. But this one, I love this one because this one is one of the reasons why I even, started this podcast. It says she believed she could, so she did. And so
All right.
as we are in the new year and just encouraging each other to be better and do better, this is my mug for today. I'm going to take a little sip. Cynthia, show off your mug, honey.
Well, mine is very simple. It says mom. And it's pink. I love pink. I do. It's like I said, it's very simple, but it's very sentimental because my baby got it for me. And so,
Oh, is the baby the one like in the podcast? Is that?
yes, the first
Aw,
baby.
isn't that
Yes.
isn't that the
And
cutest
so
ever? People, look at
so
this.
it's
Look at
getting
her smiling and glowing. I love motherhood.
so
It's
as
so
much
cute.
coffee as I like. Yeah.
Love it. Sarah, let's show off your mug of choice.
So it says there is joy in the journey. This is a mug for my birthday some years ago, and I love this mug so much because it's also one of the quotes from one of my favorite movies, The Wizard of Oz, actually.
Wow.
So, and
I
it's always
love that.
a reminder that you should take a moment to enjoy the journey.
Man, that is so true. Because you're not in one moment for a long time, right? Like, especially motherhood, the joys of motherhood and the journey of motherhood. It goes so fast. So let's talk about it, people. Okay, so we are all three moms, some newer than others, but we're all three moms. And so on my first podcast, I talked about what it was like when I found out I was pregnant for the first time, and that craziness. So I just want to let's sprinkle us with your story. So we're gonna start with Cynthia.
Okay.
Cynthia,
Whoa,
tell us.
okay.
I'm gonna go back. As you can see, guys, Sarah is her first child, and so it's been a little while, right? But tell us like a little synopsis of when you found out you was pregnant with Sarah for the first time.
Wow. Okay. Well, I was rather young. I was 19. My first semester of college, and yeah, it was a shock. You know, I had experience with helping raise children because I'm the oldest of 8, and the one that's right under me is I'm 8 years older than her, and then 16 years older than the one after her. And so I'd had some experience with, small children and raising and things, but it's totally different when you're raising your own,
Oh yeah,
when you have to,
but bring me into like that moment, because I don't know if you remember the moment, but I remember the moment where I took my first test.
Yes.
How was that for you?
That was something. So, I didn't know that I was pregnant. I was so young and naive. But my mother brought me a test, and so I was still in denial, even in the midst of taking the test. So much so
That's
that
so
I
funny.
messed up the first one. I tore it up. I don't know what I did, but I read the directions and I still broke it. But I was so pregnant that it still said positive. And so
right?
I said, no, that can't be right. Let me do it again. And so I did it again. And the test said, yeah, girl, I told you the first time.
I told you the first time.
The first thing.
And you guys heard of my story.
Yeah.
Like my previous podcast, like I took another test. I think I took maybe 3 or 4. And the test said, didn't I tell you? I done told you the first and second. Stop. Enough's enough. Yes. Stop wasting your money.
Yes. That was me. And then I immediately said, I can't be anyone's mother. I'm not ready to be a mother. I don't know what I'm doing, But by the grace of God, I figured it out. Right. And it was the best scariest experience ever.
Yes. So
Just
let's hear Sarah's story about her pregnancy test. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Cynthia knows this, or maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. What about your tell us about that test, Sarah?
I was homesick from work for like almost a week, and I was on the phone with my best friend. And I told her about it, and she was like, "You probably pregnant. You should just take a test." I was like, "Girl, no, I'm not pregnant." And she was like, "You might as well just try it." So I had one sitting under the sink. I took it, and I was like, "It's gonna be negative. It's gonna be negative. It's fine." I sat the test down and picked it back up. And before the 2 minutes was up, it was already 2 lines there. And
It was like, ow!
It's like,
in your face.
Excuse me? It can't be. So I went to the ER the next day and confirmed it. The doctor walked in and was like, just started talking to me about it and like, so this is what you're going to have to do now. You're going to have to get set up with your OB. And I was like, wait, I'm really pregnant? He's like,
right.
Oh,
wow. There's no turning back from here. There's no turning back. Yeah. And so as you can hear, all three of us, and we're not the only ones, right? Like everyone's, and the thing is that I know we're all in different places. I was actually married, and like had everything I thought together, and was still scared out my mind. So I don't think it even matters like where you are in life, whether you're a teenage parent or you're a parent who think you're grown, or an older parent. Like it's still like a shocker, a complete, like
absolutely.
We all experience that river. We were all in the now, just all of us.
Yeah.
All right, so we all know that there's no book. Say that again.
Like you said, at 3 different stages in our life. You were married.
Absolutely.
And Sarah, over 25, well, almost 25, her life in motion. And I was just starting out.
Right. And still, all right, it's still one of the scariest things that, I mean, it doesn't hurt or anything, right? It's just like a test, and it's like, oh crap. And I know for me, and I said it out loud. I was like, Mom, it has to come out. And she was like, yes, darling, it does. And I was just like, it's going to grow and ouch. Like that was like the first day too. Like the first day of finding out I was pregnant. I was just so like scared out my mind that I would go through this pain that I knew that women have to go through. But instantly I thought that, okay, so we all went through the 9 months. We all went through, first, second, third trimester, and now we're at the finish line. But there's no book. There's no place where you can really find how to do this thing called motherhood. So talk to me, Cynthia, when you brought this baby home, when, we have the luxury of hospitals in which they have nurses that's there 24/7. But now here goes baby Sarah. Take her home now. Can you remember that first day, or even the first week, first month of having a newborn baby at 19 years old? What? Like
no sleep. That's it. Just no sleep. I think the first night, well, first of all, bringing her home, I was absolutely head over heels in love. And
yes.
It's nothing that in that moment, feeling that, and it's a different kind of love, there's nothing that you wouldn't do. And right. That includes losing sleep, which is what I did,
Come through sacrifice. Yes.
Right. But it was scary. And it's because, because I was so young, I didn't have everything in place,
Yeah.
It wasn't according to the plan, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I didn't have a lot of support from, other women, that village sort of thing, you know what I mean? And so,
right.
It was me and my baby, and that's how I took it.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I lost a lot of sleep, but I understood what it meant for a mother to truly sacrifice, because even though I didn't sleep, I wasn't tired. And even when I was
Yeah.
tired, I still pushed forward.
You pushed and fought through. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you guys, I think mothers are some of the, I mean, they're the strongest people in the world. Like, to hear that, like, being that young and have like the selflessness, of motherhood. So Sarah, you tell us a little bit about, now you just heard from your own mother, it was you and her and what she had to go through. And now you are a mother. Tell us, welcome to motherhood. So tell us about your Bambino. She's the newest mother out of us too. So tell us your story about once you brought your baby home.
I would say I was just excited to have him home. He was in NICU for about almost a week and a half. So the transition from there to home was not as bad as I thought it would be, but it was definitely a big change.
So let's dive into that, and let's be real, okay? She is a new mother, so baby might be around. Actually, baby is around. So hey, we're all in this together, and so if you have to pick up that baby, honey, do that, hon. We get that, and we just gonna look at you from afar because we don't have to do it, amen. But if you have to pick up baby, if you have to burp them, go for it. But what did you think? What did you think was gonna be like? She's gonna get them, and so it's okay. I'm gonna ask the question as she's getting them, hopefully she can hear me. So, but what did you think was like the biggest hardship, or were you like afraid, like once I get them home? So what was your fear?
I think my biggest fear was just keeping him alive. I was a little afraid that I wouldn't know what to do because they're so.
I love it.
He was so.
I love it. Yeah.
So, it was just like I didn't want to do anything.
You said, how much did he weigh when he was born?
4 pounds 7 ounces. He was just tiny. So like that's so weird. That was probably the scariest part. The very first night.
Yeah, I can't attest to that. I'd never had a baby that small. Wow. Wow. So what was the size of your smallest baby, Cynthia?
Actually, Akil, my son, it was smaller than Sarah, but the both of them didn't break 6 pounds. So they both. Sarah was 5'11", and
wow.
Akil. No, I'm sorry. Akil was 6'2".
Okay, he was 6. Come on, 6 pounder. Yeah. Wow. But so you had small babies too. And listen, could be wrong, but I try to do my research. When it comes to baby weight, it's the mother. It's based off the mother. So it depends on like how much you weighed and how much you are with your girth and all that good stuff. But your mother depends on how big the baby actually is. My smallest baby was 6'5", but he was born a little early. But my biggest baby was like 7, 8, but that was it. And I'm like, I think that's all I could have handled. But I have friends who've had 10 pounders and 12-pound babies.
You didn't have a 10-pound baby?
No. I can't even, my spirit hurts all just thinking about it. But I love when she said, like, I just need to keep this baby alive day by day.
Yeah.
Just keep the baby alive. That's it.
I think
listen, people, you listening to us?
Thing.
That is the basic thing. Okay. So, okay. He might not smell the best. He might not smell like baby, because that's a fake smell, by the way. Girl, that baby powder, the lotions, it smells real good, but that's not the baby's natural smell. Okay. Right. So if the baby smell a little, don't listen. He's alive.
Right.
Okay, mothers. Don't get me wrong. Wash the baby. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying don't be mad at life. He's alive. Okay. One day at a time. Thank you. I love that. That's the good stuff, people. All right. So, all right. Question. What would you say has been? Let me go back to Cynthia. What would you say was your hardest challenge being a new mom?
My hardest challenge is when I had to trust her with other people. Because as long as I'm there, I know she's good. You know, I know she's taken care of. I know she's getting what she needs. I know she's safe.
Yeah.
But if I have to step away, if I had to go to the grocery store, and I didn't work until Sarah was much older, so going to the grocery store was the thing. Like, okay, well, do you have everything she needs? Do you have this? Do you have just for the grocery store? But
absolutely,
that was the hardest thing for me, not being present and having to trust her and her safety and well-being with someone other than her father.
Okay. Because that was my next question. Like, even the husband, even like, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I think there was even times with my husband, I'm like, listen, watch the baby's neck, hon. Like, babe, because I mean, honestly, like, us as mothers, like, we know there are babies, they came out of us, so it's like only we know. And then my husband, listen, woman, I got this. And I'm like, but his head, wait.
Mine's had 1,000 pillows around him at all times. He felt like he had to be a statue whenever he had her. He would not move an inch.
My gosh.
But yeah. So he was fine. I knew that, he wasn't going to drop her or nothing. That was just
and Sarah, what about you? What would you say has been your hardest challenge? We know that you're keeping him alive. She's keeping his baby alive, honey. But what would you say was the hardest challenge of just like having a new baby?
Probably just making sure I was doing what I was supposed to do to make sure he was okay. Yeah. Because he had, he was in NICU, like I said, and that was probably the most challenging time. I cried a whole lot. I was sad. That was like very, very hard. It's the only word I can use. It's very, very hard.
Yeah, I can imagine that because I was blessed. My preemie, that wasn't a preemie, he was 6'5". He was in the queue for very, 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 very short time, and I brought him home with me. But in your circumstance, if I'm not mistaken, you went home before baby, correct?
Yeah.
So I can imagine that being a bit, just hard to like Cynthia just said, like, only I can take care of my baby the most. I feel like I could take care of my baby the best because it's my baby. And so to actually leave your baby at the hospital, I bet that was a lot to deal with. So what would you say to those ladies out there who has to do that, who has to leave their baby in the hospital now that you've been through it, but baby's home and baby's well now? What can you say to those ladies who have to leave?
Definitely trust the nurses and get your sleep, because I spent from the time that I left the hospital to the time that he came home, I spent literally every single day at the hospital for hours, going like 12 o'clock, going in the afternoons, going first thing in the morning, as much as I could. And that was probably the most that I didn't sleep. I think I slept more at home than when he was gone.
Yeah.
So, sleep.
Because you missed him so much.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Observing Sarah, she not only was there at the hospital every day, but the hospital is about a 30-minute drive, maybe a little longer from where we are. And so she was there every day. She would spend as much time as she could there, come home, and then go right back.
Wow.
I can say that I really admired the just that instinct that came to her naturally for her baby.
Yeah.
And she did trust the nurses at the hospital, wonderful nurses in the NICU. However, still, it's nothing like, being there with your baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then it's hard. It's hard to spend that time, those 9 months or those, that time with your baby and growing your baby and then having to leave the baby there. I couldn't imagine, but I can totally get that. So shout out to you ladies who have to do that. It takes a strong mom to have to leave your baby there. But like they just said, trust the nurses. Know that they are indeed in good hands, and don't fault yourself. I mean, if you heard Sarah, she just mentioned that she cried a lot. It's okay. Like, it's okay that you have those emotions, because I'm pretty sure that was a really tough thing to be separated from your baby. All right. So my last question, well, before I go to my last question, do you guys, because listen, I've had some babies, but I've never heard of this. And with my, I tend to research and study. Have you heard of the 5-5-5 rule?
No.
See there? Listen, why did I not know this? And the thing is, I mean, I'm not saying if I did it or didn't do it, but I was like, as an old mother, I guess I would say I'm an old mother or a seasoned mother, I did not know about this, but the 5-5-5 rule is 5 days in the bed, 5 days on the bed, and 5 days around the bed.
I did hear that. I saw it on
You heard about that?
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok.
Oh, okay. See, maybe that's why, because I'm not a TikToker. I'm working on that. But yeah, so it said 5 days in the bed. So that means 5 days you should be resting. You should be bonding with your baby. You should always, be there just in the bed healing. So for 5 straight days, you should be healing. The next 5 days, you should be on the bed, meaning that you can start doing light things. You prioritize rest, but you avoid doing, heavy lifting and things like that. But then the last 5 days, you're just near the bed, which means you gradually can move around the house. You can do a little bit more, but still minimal. I'm going to be honest, I was bad. I did not follow those rules at all. I mean, I didn't know the rules, but I didn't follow those rules. So what would be some advice? I feel like I guess it's some good advice. I'm not sure if I know I didn't follow them. I know with my last pregnancy, I was up and going, probably day 2. Don't follow me, people. But it was day 2 and 3. I was up and I was going, and then my feet never swole in any of my pregnancies, but that last one, my feet blew up like a balloon, and I said, maybe I need to sit down. Maybe I need to sit down.
And apply the 5-5-5 rule.
Right. Like, maybe I need to follow some rule, because I don't know why. I was like, I pushed the baby out. Everything was easy. I got this. And my body was like, you know what? No, sit down. So tell us, Centria, this is just advice for people, but what is something that you know now that you wish you would have knew once you brought that baby home?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of a loaded question.
Yeah, it's a loaded question. It is.
What I know now, that, you know what? Everything's not gonna unfold the way you think it is. You can plan and plan, but it's not gonna unfold the way you think it is. And so go with the flow and trust God that things will be okay.
I love it. Sarah, you're very still new in this. How old is baby now?
He's 4 months.
4 months old. So she's over, she got past that 3-month part, which congratulations to that. But what could you say that you know now that you wish you knew before you brought baby home?
Kind of along the same lines as my mom. Just go with the flow. Like, no matter how much you plan things to a T, the baby is the ultimate decision maker, not you.
Oh, wow. That's yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely. I realize that motherhood is definitely not that fairy tale. It's definitely not even like giving birth. We watch TV and it's like, oh, my water broke. It's like, I need to get to the hospital. It's not gonna happen.
No,
It's not gonna happen, guys.
no. And
Or
it's
like, I don't know
frustrating
about
because
you
you
guys,
wish
but
that
at
the
one
baby
point,
is
like I
out.
wrote a right, like writing birth plans and like I know for one pregnancy, I was like, I wanted to play like This Woman's Work by Maxwell as I was pushing the baby out because I wanted everyone to understand how I had to labor, and that went off the roof because when that labor pain hit, oh,
You was too busy working.
I was putting in some work. Okay, I needed a different song. Work, 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 work. No. Oh wow. So just know there is no rule book, there's no blueprint to this thing called motherhood. And as you can see, we are 3 different mothers that experience 3 different stories, and you too will experience your own story. But understand that it will be uniquely yours. And we hope and we pray that you enjoy every single minute of it. And so to you, my fellow seasoned mother, Cynthia, and to you, our new mother, Sarah, we love you. Thank you guys so much for being on Mom Cafe as my guest. Listen, here's Sway. Spread love every day, and we will see you next week on Mom Cafe. Bye, ladies.
Bye. Thank you.
Listen to that. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes.